We are live from Broadcasting House in Accra. Good afternoon. We thank you for joining us on this hour at 2. I am Winifred Efum. You can also join us on the go on our social media platform, Facebook at GBC Ghana, for the details of the story as well. Let's settle now for the stories. Ghana's COVID-19 active case count has dropped to 47 a month after the easing of preventive measures, including the wearing of face masks in public places. This was contained in figures published by the Ghana Health Service, which also indicated that all the 47 active cases were located in the Greater Accra region, with the remaining 15 regions of the country having no active cases of the illness. GBC News Health Desk spoke to the Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Franklin Esiedu-Bequin, on factors accounting to the drop in cases.
We do to two things. Reasonable number of people have been vaccinated for now. It's not up to what you want to achieve, but still you can say that where you have a lot of people residing, reasonable people have been vaccinated. So it minimizes the risk of infection and even the severity of the disease. So that's the main one. The other one is that the viruses on their own tend to get weakened with time, so their infectivity reduces. And that one also is a reason why we have to get government. So normally what happens is that if you tend to have a new variant that has a very high effectivity, and it can change the numbers. But for now, that's why we are actually urging Ghanaians to make sure they get vaccinated, so that if you get a new variant, then there will not be any spike in the figures. So I think that if you look at the figures, particularly in ECOWAS region, the decline in figures is across all the regions. So clearly, the risk of getting infected is low. Now that we have very minimal infection, this is the best time for us to get vaccinated, so that even if we tend to have a new variant coming on board, have to get one thing. And I think that for us, that's what we want to focus on. Let's get vaccinated. Let's get vaccinated, so that we are not taken by other events. So our plan is to keep on doing what we call the national vaccination campaigns. Hopefully by the end of later part of this month, we'll do another one, so that we try to bring the vaccines close to the clients as possible. What we want to tell Ghanaians is that yes, we are experiencing very low figures, but the pandemic is not over. So until WHO declares the pandemic over, I cannot say we are out of the woods. If you look at other countries that are actually putting away all their masks, their coverages are around 70 to 80%. We are not there yet. So we still want to focus on Ghanaians to get vaccinated. This is the best time for us to get vaccinated, so that we are not thinking about events in the future. Let's say if Ghana you get zero, somebody can come from outside Ghana and bring it. So at times maintaining zero it will be difficult. So I don't think the zero is the order. The issue is the numbers that must be below, so that the infectivity is very minimal. I think that's what we should be aiming for. And then, where the risk of infection is very, very minimal when the population is vaccinated. That's why we're trying to push for what they call the herd immunity. At a certain level, the proportion of the population are immunized against the pathogen, so that those who are not immunized are protected from getting the disease. So that is the concept we are pushing. And you can only achieve that when our vaccination coverage levels are quite high, maybe around.
The National School Feeding Caterers Association is demanding an increment in the school feeding grant following increase in prices of food items. According to the caterers, food prices have increased multiple times, but the government still pays 97 pesos per plate, making it extremely difficult for them to continue cooking for the pupils and students in various schools. The Public Relations Officer for the National School Feeding Caterers Association, Azietu Amenua Ankara, has been addressing a news conference on the situation and called on President Akufo-Addo to instruct the appropriate authorities to address their concerns immediately. The Ghana School Feeding Program is an initiative of the Comprehensive Africa Agricultural Development Program Pillar 3, it seeks to enhance food security and reduce hunger in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals on hunger, poverty and malnutrition. We have on the line Madam Helena Appiah, Secretary to the School Feeding Caterers Association, to tell us more on this development. Good afternoon, Madam.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for joining us.
Okay.
How long have you been feeding these people for 97 pesos per plate?
Since we started with 80 pesos, and after 1 year it was increased to 1 cedi with minus 3 pesos tax, so you are being paid 97 pesos per head.
And how are you managing to feed our children with this amount of money?
It's just by the grace that we are serving the kids with 97 pesos. Beginning, the things were not hard like this time. Now commodities are rising up, so we can't do it anymore with 97 pesos.
So apart from the 97 pesos, there's no other subsidies that are granted to you to augment the costs of your operations?
Not at all.
Have you made this known to the authorities, and what are they saying?
Several occasions, but no yet have listened to us.
So what do you plan to do?
School, according to GES, school has resumed this Tuesday, but gender ministry says Monday we should go and cook for the kids. But my sister, I'm sorry, we can't do that.
In previous years, were you doing that? Were you cooking for them before they give you the money? And why are you not doing that now? If GES
it's not about
assured...
we will not do them now. We've cooked for 2 terms already, which we have not received payment. But our concern now is they should increase it to 3 cedis before we start the second term feeding.
Right. So does it mean that students have not been given food since school reopened?
Hello?
I'm asking, does this development mean that the students have not been given any food since school reopened?
Yes, since school reopened, gender ministry said we should start cooking from the 16th, which is next week Monday.
And so far, as you go on to interact with them, are there no plans? Don't they give you any assurance of when they are giving you the money?
The press release that came says the school feeding grant still unchanged. They are going to pay us 97 pesos when we cook the food, which we can't do.
So the end of it all is that you are going to put your tools down. The children are not going to eat when they go to school. That is what you are telling us.
Yeah, exactly.
And there is nothing else they can do to make you change your stand without...
We've told them our mind. We want to reset it. It's negotiable, but okay. We can't cook with 97 pesos.
I believe you've put that on the table. What are they saying? Are they saying they'll give you the 3 cedis you are asking of? Are they saying you should set so you start negotiations on it? What is at stake? What are they telling you?
They said it was the same 97 pesos. And as we speak, they all are 2 terms. Last year 3 terms and this year 1st term.
Okay, Madam Helena, thank you. We will leave it here for now, and we'll come back to you if the GS, steps down on its stance and increase the amount for you. We all understand that times are hard, and so I'm sure as you move ahead to negotiate with them, we can have you agreeing on a term so that we can do that. Thank you so much for joining us, and that has been Madam Helena Appiah, Secretary to the School Feeding Caterers Association, telling us more about the 97 pesos per plate for a school child to be fed on when they go to school, and they tell us it is woefully inadequate. A stakeholder consultative meeting has been held in Accra to review the progress of the Sustainable Development Goals SDGs. The Ghana 2022 Voluntary National Review Consultation is to enable stakeholders to measure the progress of the SDGs so far, identify challenges and mobilize support for efforts towards attainment of the 17 SDGs by 2030. The second meeting in a series is focused more on SDG Goal 5, which is to achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls.
Menstruation is still a major reason why some girls don't go to school or drop out of school. Maternal mortality is on the rise, while unemployment and abuse of women are some of the critical development issues in Ghana. To address inequalities in our society, government has in place the National Gender Policy, a 5-year strategic plan to address adolescent pregnancy in the country. Also in place is the Domestic Violence Act, Act 2007, which is among the policies and strategies government has developed through the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. To assess progress on the SDGs implementation, the Ghana 2022 Voluntary National Review Consultative Meeting was centered on sharing notes on innovative actions taken so far.
I'm of the view that these responses will encourage us to work better in our various institutions to achieve the goal, while bearing in mind that Goal 5 on gender equality is inextricably linked to the other 16 goals that make up the 2030 agenda. And a gender-responsive approach must permit all sectors to ensure that no one is left behind.
Emerita Professor Techu Aminu of the University of Ghana stated that gender is integral to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals.
A lot depends on the Ministry of Gender and Children and Social Protection. A lot depends on government itself. Our president has been a gender champion, and we want him to be a gender champion in Ghana also, So we need to see that, and we need also the resources to the women's rights groups have really dried up, and they are doing their best.
Ghana is among 45 countries that will be represented by the Voluntary National Review Group at the High-Level Political Forum on the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals under the auspices of the United Nations Economic and Social Council in July 2022. The forum will enable Ghana to share its progress, challenges and experiences with the SDGs implementation. For GBC News, Yaira Lawe reporting.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, says government is scaling up the use of space technologies in managing water resources to protect and monitor their quality now and for future generations. At the 5th International Conference on the Use of Space Technology for Water Resource Management in Accra, Dr. Bawumia was worried about the extent of water pollution by activities of illegal miners. He said employing space technology along water resources will help curb the rampant degradation of the country's water resources.
According to the University of Mines and Natural Resources, Sunyani, about 60% of the country's water bodies are polluted by various human activities. They say the fast degradation is a serious threat to the nation's future if not stopped by adopting modern technology. Lack of effective monitoring along the water bodies has contributed to this fast degradation. The 5th International Conference on the Use of Space Technology for Water Resource Management therefore aims to promote the application of space technology in water management to help developing countries such as Ghana to harness space-based solutions to address their water-related issues. To the experts at this gathering, space technology has a growing role in water resource management, from monitoring floods to assessing drought risks, and it is important for countries to employ this technology to protect water resources.
We also promise that we will pursue and use the recommendations and suggestions to achieve our mandate in the area of the use of space science technology in natural resources, not particularly water resources, but natural resources development.
The Minister for Education, Dr. Osei Yao Iduchum, said developing STEM at the basic level remains key in making strides in space technology.
I don't want space science to be the preserve of scientists and university professors, or those who are doing master's degrees. If we start early, then we can build on what we know as the 10,000-hour rule, which is well tested and documented, that people who we refer to as geniuses have done something over and over and for many years. So by the time our students get to high school, they know something about space sciences and technology.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, said while employing space technology, government will also develop an effective policy framework to support institutions.
Illegal small-scale mining, or galamsey, as it is popularly called, has caused most of the water bodies in localities where it is practiced to become polluted, and as such progressively costly or again extremely difficult to treat for utilization. We want to strengthen our use of space technologies to safeguard and monitor those water resources and ensure their worth and quality are protected now and for future generations.
Proposals gathered at the 4-day conference will be submitted to the government to draw up effective means to adopt space technology to manage water resources.
The Israeli community in Ghana, led by their ambassador Shlomi Sofa, have had an interaction in Accra with some members of government and senior citizens as part of activities marking 74 years of Israel's independence. Israel used the occasion to reaffirm her commitment to fruitful economic ties with Ghana.
The Jewish state of Israel is a nation that has had a checkered history. It has risen and fallen at certain points in history and suffered atrocities such as the Holocaust, in which about 6 million of them were massacred. The story of Israel's independence and survival from the dark days to date can be described as a miracle, as the Jews suffered in exile for about 2,000 years before the United Nations paved the way for their resettlement as a state in that part of the Middle East in 1948, according to historical accounts. Its leaders say Israel has survived against the odds, having emerged from the desert without natural resources, faced turmoil and conflicts, and become a startup nation and a global leader in high-tech innovation. It's been 74 years since, and their story is that of resilience, innovation, togetherness and survival.
We are a developed country, thriving and benefiting from all the development that we were able to achieve through the years. And we are excited to celebrate it here in Ghana today and to mark all the remarkable cooperation that exists between our two countries, and to imagine and envision what more we can achieve together. And we already have so many plans about cooperation in agriculture, in health and innovation.
Ghana, she said, is a priority in Israel's economic because of its huge economic potential, stability, democratic credential, and the dominant role of civil society in the country. Ambassador Shlomi Sofa said the state of Israel looks forward to doing more in innovation, high-tech, agriculture, water, cyber technology and health. The Deputy Minister for Agriculture in charge of crops, Mr. Frimpong Ado, spoke about Ghana-Israel relations, which dates back to the 1950s. He was hopeful for a better and more fruitful partnership between the two nations in the near future. Rebecca Iwa, Accra.
A campaign to protect cassava from existing and new diseases has reached Wenchi in the Bono region. A scientific research group known as the Central and West Africa Virus Epidemiology Wave is spearheading the campaign. Their aim is to help increase food production and protect the livelihoods of especially smallholder farmers in Africa.
Cassava, a starchy root crop, is widely grown in Ghana. Apart from domestic consumption, it also has industrial value, as it is used for the brewing of alcoholic beverages and treated for the manufacture of other products. Ghana has also had the experience of exporting cassava chips. The future of the crop is threatened by the emergence of new diseases. 120 farmers participated in the sensitization program at Wenchi. The Central and West Africa Virus Epidemiology WAVE develops effective methods for the control and management of transboundary pathogens, as well as prevents the incursion of exotic plant diseases into other areas. WAVE is teaching the farmers how to identify and fight such diseases. The WAVE project leader, Dr. Alan Opon, said, while cassava has a huge potential for the creation of wealth for farmers and the Ghanaian economy, there are existing and emerging diseases that have serious socio-economic and public health consequences. Farmers had to use the right planting material devoid of any infections. A participant, Kate Obo Amwakoa, gave her impression about the training.
By now, Jrna nanom near my home farm say business. Until we could be able to man so more than 1 year scouts in beauty. By now, say you home farming say business. Will be any as they say, Bantin, so you're talking until be any brass, you'll be a Bantin, I say, baby soon. Say, yeah, call to a Bantin.
The campaign is taking place in 5 districts in the Eastern, Volta, Bono East and Oti regions. Central and West Africa Virus Epidemiology was launched in 2015 with funding from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the Foreign Commonwealth Development Office of the United Kingdom.
We stay a while longer on food security because the Kintampo Cooperative Yam Producers and Marketing Society Limited in the Bono East region is appealing to government for subsidy on farm inputs to enable them to stay in business. They believe there will be food insecurity next year if urgent steps are not taken by government to address the high cost of fuel and farm inputs.
The Kintampo Yam market was established several decades ago. The market has patronage from neighboring countries including Togo, Burkina Faso, among others. The yam sellers say prices of all types of yams in the market have increased due to hikes in petroleum products and farm inputs. 108 tubers of yam that sold between 350, 450 and 550 Ghana cedis last year now sells at 1,400, 1,800 and 2,000 Ghana cedis depending on the type of yam. Nana Ama Amia is the Kintampo Yam market queen.
Na de ba ko a ha madwen kakra ne se to bia no mo ba ye de yetua nenso no yedwa no mo enye papa emayen nti esra ban se ontwene no nya de o mehwen Kintampo ba yedwa ensuo to a susan e fa no so wo ba hwa
The secretary of the Kintampo Cooperative Yam Producers and Marketing Society Limited, Mr. John Inyounam, said they anticipate food insecurity in the area and the country due to hikes in farm inputs. The chairperson of the Kintampo Cooperative Yam Producers and Marketing Society Limited, Mr. Daniel Dapa, said most of the farmers have reduced their farm size due to high cost of labor and farm inputs.
Your ton by even 400 kra. So send the bear when I saw ton of 300, I send the bear to 150. I saw a few Yankasan and Kuye Mayan. Into your best rabbi. Send a in icon.
The chairperson of the GPRTU branch at the Kintampo Yam market, Madam Adisa Aminu, said the hikes in petroleum prices are impacting negatively on their business.
By the normal cofa, bear 6,000 cry, no more charge, bear 50 million. It all the about the new go by Renoso. Until end up by Reno boy, then I didn't. Tears rabine or more be I saw the boy, no shot to Nuasen, and near Jrna or Modidon.
The sanitation situation and the road network at the yam market is in a bad state. Businessmen and women therefore appeal to authorities to use part of their taxes to give the market a facelift. For GBC News, Samuel Ayama, Kintampo.
Let's turn attention now to the health sector. The Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association has launched a new mobile application called the Jrna Infonet. The app is to improve interaction between members and executives of the association and also enable members to access various welfare services. The president of the association, Mrs. Perpetual Oforiampofo, said this forms part of their digitalization drive.
Realize that there was vast opportunity to also roll onto the app a lot of the things that we are already doing. So as we speak, the system has the ability to inform members of what is happening in terms of the association, information sharing, updating of personal details, and it can afford you the opportunity to view your Jrna fund, or the Nurses Fund as is commonly known. You can also apply for your retirement fund, apply for health fund, apply for fire and flood supports, and a whole lot more. So the app is going to make life easier for members because they are a priority, so that in our operations, everything is made easier and very on time.
Health workers at the Al-Hassan Kura Chips compound in the Kintampo municipality of the Bono East region are operating in a building akin to a cubicle. The workers at the facility complain that the lack of a befitting structure to work impacts negatively on quality healthcare delivery in the area.
Insufficient space at the Al-Hassan Kura Chips compound is impeding quality healthcare delivery. Madam Ramatu Bashiru is a community health nurse at the facility.
As you can see, there is only one bed available. If possible, we should have conducted delivery here, but we don't have the necessary things to do it, so we only do A&C. Even A&C in this kind of environment, the room is not ventilated. The pregnant woman will not be comfortable in here. And that same room we use for A&C is the same room we store our safety boxes. And not only safety boxes, we keep different things, a lot of things, some of our medications.
Mr. Issa Ahmed Salim is a disease control officer at the health facility.
It's the same place we store our drugs. It's the same place as the dispensary and the stores. We store drugs and dispensary at the same place. As you can see, the room is not sealed. So we can't even sit here around 11 o'clock going. We have to go out because the room becomes very hot.
Mr. Simon Injeson, who is also a nurse at the Al-Hassan Kura Chips compound, was equally worried over the lack of space at the health facility.
When you look at it, the room is very small to keep some of the things. So we appeal for any help that the authority can give us so that to give us a better place to live.
The Al-Hassan Kura Chips compound serves over 3,000 residents in the area. Opinion leaders in the community who spoke with the news team of camera expressed worry over the situation and appealed to government through the Ministry of Health and its partners for assistance. For GBC News, Samuel Ayama, Sankura.
The entire Sahel region of the African continent is said to be off track in reaching the malaria control and elimination target, except for Cape Verde, which has been malaria-free for the past 3 years. The Ministerial Forum on Sahel Malaria Elimination in Accra cited challenges such as the decline in investment, low domestic financing, and the inadequate access to essential care.
Africa region, sadly, still accounts for 96% of global malaria deaths and 95% of cases. And we are off track in reaching the 2030 targets to which our leaders committed to, over 90% reduction in malaria incidence and mortality rate. Evidence of stalled progress precedes the COVID-19 pandemic. The reasons are varied, but we also take into cognizance that the population in our region has doubled since the year 2000. Despite this, our domestic and external investment has remained at the same levels. So in real terms, investment in malaria has declined. The low domestic funding for malaria compounds this low overall per capita finance.
Call it an adopted fashion, and you will be right. A feature across many fishing communities is to see canoe owners hoist a flag of their favorite institution, soccer team, item or personality on their canoes. The many reasons behind this new trend include for easy identification, beautification, and probably the love and support for a particular football club. Some also use the flag willy-nilly for the mere sense of decoration it brings to the canoe. GBC News visited the Newtown Canoe Landing Beach and has this report on the influx of flags hoisted on canoes and the reasons some give for this.
Canoes of different sizes and shapes depending on the areas of fishing. Aside the different names engraved on the canoes, one feature that is fast gaining grounds and quickly attracts the attention of anyone at the beach is the swaying in the wind of colorful flags hoisted on these canoes. To fishermen in these parts, the practice is fast becoming a culture among most fishing communities. These flags signify identification, beautification, and the deep affection one has for a particular blend of colors, a football club, or a political party.
Flag J Jessica, J club, J politics, J Kulendi Salu, MPP Alu Nuku. So when I get raw white also for Nukuma no we king. I use different 3 colors. Mogu use red, black, ke minipool. No, I no need to use red. Long it stand for minipool. Move color no suffocating at the electronic long.
According to the fishermen, although the flags may have their own meaning, the main purpose is to signal oncoming canoes not to sail close or alert them of a possible danger.
Identification, because maybe it can happen that you are here, but the other one will not know that you are there. But that's why they use the long poles on the canoes.
Our camera lenses captured the flag with GBC Obono on it. The owner of the canoe says he used the name to express his love for the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation's Greater Accra Regional Station as a promoter of the traditions and cultures of the Gadangmes. Flags not made with the usual fabric, but black plastic bags. This quickly raised some superstitious and spiritual connotations of the flag. Mr. David Akwa explains.
Mukuneke believe ne you are a flag. Mukuneke ekolo for hale nugoshi. About solid actually flag no ba kan. Mekume use also for the sticker. Ke petolele.
Although it may seem like just little creativity on the part of these fisher folk, there could be more to it than meets the eye. Therefore, the next time you are in the industrial city, be a little more inquisitive, and you may be surprised at what you may find at the Temakenu Landing Beach. Probably it will be your name written on a flag and hoisted in the wind on a canoe.
Time now for the business segment. Good afternoon and welcome. I am Dorothy Ajamai. In 2018, Ghana had its first building code. Prior to this, it was free for all in the building and construction industry with no clearly defined standards. To further ensure that standards are adhered to in the building industry, MC Boshemi Ghana has opened its concrete center, office and factory here in Accra. It is to provide concrete technology capacity development, concrete assessment and provide solutions to the concrete challenges in the country.
Building Code launched in 2018 set regulations for areas safeguarding during construction, site development and land use, energy efficiency and sustainability, materials used in the construction of buildings, among others. Concrete is one of the materials used in the construction industry in Ghana, but sometimes it hardly meets the international standard set. The opening of the office of MC Basheme Ghana its training center is purpose to promote standards in concrete use in the country. The provost at the College of Engineering at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Professor Mark Adom Esamoah, said the time for collaboration between academia and industry and ensuring that the bar is raised and ensuring standardization in the construction industry.
The emerging economy of Ghana, with an increasingly urban population, causes massive sustainable infrastructure development, which cannot be achieved without a strong chemical admixture market. It is therefore timely that MC has constructed this factory to meet the local demand for chemical admixtures, as well as provide repair and rehabilitation solutions in the country.
The managing director of MC Basheme Ghana, Mr. Noble Bediakon, said in promoting standards in the industry by placing emphasis on concrete work, the company has, among other interventions, trained over 7,000 artisans, engineers and architects.
I firmly believe that if care is not taken, we will be facing an acute lack of skilled and professional artisans in the near future. And on the back of this, my earnest appeal will be to call on other partners in the industry to join forces and lead a campaign to resolve this persisting issue. I'm aware of a number of initiatives from the German government, for example, through a number of German institutions in support of technical trainings and skills development, which we are part of. I would strongly suggest the inclusion of soft skill training skills in these programs. Skilled artisans without professional and sound attitudes are a disaster to work with.
The Minister for Works and Housing, Mr. Francis Asensubuachi, said the ministry is poised to formulate policies such as a building code for a conducive environment for players in the construction industry.
In a bid to efficiently operationalize the building code, it became necessary to review the current building regulations, LI 1630. 1996, to reflect all aspects of the building code. Thankfully, the building regulations is currently before Parliament for consideration, and I'm confident that it will be passed as soon as possible.
Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority, Professor Alex Dodu, said it is time to look for solutions in ensuring that artisans in the construction industry meet standards set for concrete products. The global cement and concrete product market grew from $333.26 billion in 2020 to $365.58 billion in 2021 at a compound annual growth rate of 9.7%.
The implementation of the electronic transfer levy on 1st May had been received with mixed reactions, with many yet to get a grip on its mode of operation. To ensure that the informal sector is given a better understanding of the levy, the Ghana Revenue Authority has met with some trade associations in Accra.
The electronic transfer levy, e-levy, is to regulate and impose an electronic transfer levy on 1.5% on all monies which are electronically transferred. This e-levy forms part of efforts by government to broaden Ghana's tax base and subsequently increase revenue mobilization. The levy, which took effect on the 1st of May this year, has been met with mixed reactions as many are yet to understand its operations. Mindful of this, the Ghana Revenue Authority has met with some trading associations in Accra to educate them on areas covered by the e-levy and vice versa. A commissioner at the Jrna, Mr. Martin Yamborija, said despite the initial hitches, the implementation has so far been smooth. He, however, attested that there is a need for the right information to be disseminated concerning the e-levy. The head of the project management unit and a member of the e-levy team, Mr. Isaac Amakun, explained some modalities of the e-levy.
To be able to enjoy that exemption, you first need to get to your telco and request that they give you a merchant SIM. Now, with that merchant SIM, you are also supposed to come to the Ghana Revenue Authority and register for income tax or VAT if VAT is applicable to you. Once you do that, anybody who pays you using the merchant number that you have will not suffer the telco charges also they will not suffer the e-levy. So that was what the specified merchant payment is all about.
The Deputy Minister for Finance, Madam Abnao Sayasari, said the government will give a true account of all monies collected through the e-levy.
Twice in a year, we will go and give an account of all the revenue handles that we have raised, in Parliament, one through the mid-year budget review and two through the budget. So very soon in July, we will go and give an account of all the revenue handles that we have been able to raise, including the e-levy, to Parliament, and government and Ghanaians will see how much we have been able to raise by that time.
The Ghana Revenue Authority has been tasked to raise revenue of 8.3 billion cedis for the year 2022.
You're still watching the business segment of News R. Ghana is still the preferred destination for many businesses, especially entities in the ICT space, due to the country's adoption of digital innovations. With this, the Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Mrs. Ursula Owusu-Kuffour, says government is ready to partner with global ICT firms and the local private sector organizations to encourage and engage local expertise for development. She said that 2-year leap is expected to leapfrog Ghana into a bright digital future with 100,000 talents by 2024. This came up at the just-ended Huawei ICT Job Fair and launch of LEAP ICT Talent Development Initiative here in Accra,
which is bringing various industry players and captains of industry here to look at the skills that are available in the young people that have already been trained and to hire and engage them in their jobs. And the end of skills acquisition is job acquisition, employment creation. So it's not just our young people acquiring the skills simpliciter, but to use that to get sustainable, well-paying jobs in the industry. The world is changing. The pandemic has taught us that we can't continue to do the old things that we were doing and expect new results. That will enable, force us to use digital application systems and innovations to live and work. Now we need people who have those skills that will enable us to engage in the new world of work that is opening up. And that is why the various skills acquisition initiatives that are ongoing through the public and private sector participation, as we've been doing, and they indicated that over 50,000 people have been granted this experience already through just last year, through the partnership with the ministry. And we're looking forward to doing even more. So as part of our Ghana Beyond Aid agenda, we need to grow our own capacity to manage our infrastructure. That's why we've put such an emphasis on digital skills.
The Public Utility Regulatory Commission, PURC, has established 2 audit units to monitor the operations of the Electricity Company of Ghana and the Ghana Water Company Limited. The PURC says the units will evaluate performance of the utility providers against the set targets for them. The Director of Public Relations at the Commission, Mr. Ali Simon Jrna, said the audit results would inform tariff adjustments going forward. He spoke on a weekly press review a while ago.
Established 2 utility regulatory audit units.
Okay, audit units.
2 utility regulatory audit units, and then 1 for water and 1 for that of power. That is 8.5. Now, what we are going to be doing there is that, in their proposal, they are asking that, for instance, for ECG, they are proposing for an upward adjustment of some 148%. So in that proposal, in their justification, they say that, they are going to use it for A, B, C, and Z.
Reduce
so
losses, improve
exactly,
revenue.
Exactly. So in terms of their investment in their infrastructure, etc., etc. These audit units will then go after after they are granted these tariffs, will now go and then find out periodically. They go to find out what exactly are they using this tariff for. Are they using the tariff for the intended purposes? In their proposals. If, for instance, they are saying that they are going to improve on their infrastructure, their network, are they doing that? you may approve a tariff for a utility, and at the end of the day, they use them for workshops. They use them to buy luxurious vehicles. So there must be a regulatory audit unit, so that we'll go to find out some of these things from these utilities. Another important thing that we are doing is that we are embarking on serious monitoring.